I wish you a wonderful day. It's great that you are here with this new video. And today, we will talk again about the topic of tire cleaning or tight tires. Today, the question is whether it is even worth preparing the tire with a tire cleaner before such care. Because we do the same with paint. You don't apply a sealant to a dirty, scratched paint, for example. And the theory is actually the same for a tire. You don't apply tire care to a dirty, yellowed, discolored tire. That's why we're going to take a look at this together now. Today, we will conduct the test. We will clean one side and rinse the other side only with water, and we will simply see if this provides an advantage in appearance, and whether it also makes a difference in durability and the look we have over a longer period. Let's get started. I have brought the following products for this. I could have done this with all sorts of things, but we will use the ADBL tire dressing here. I haven't included this in the videos for a very long time. And this is one of my favorite tire dressings, also because it has this incredible, intense cookie scent that I absolutely love. From ADBL as a suitable counterpart, so to speak, the tire and rubber cleaner. And I also have a brush tape, and basically everything we need to apply this here. Let's take a look. First, let's clean the tire. So, let's take a look here. I will do the following. We will work with the tire cleaner on this side. The nice thing is we have a nice smooth surface on the tire where there isn't much text or writing on it. That's why I'm putting a little tape here. So, let's take a look at this. Pay attention to the color of the foam. I'm just spraying a little bit on here. And it is changing color. I'm spraying slower on purpose. Do you see this? Let it sit for a short moment. You can see there is a really brown haze. Look at that. Very, very intense. Now let's take the brush a bit. I also sprayed some product in, and then we can just loosen this up completely here. You can also do this with the spray pad. I also gave you that as a tip in the last video. Definitely put on gloves because you can already see here. A lot of dirt is coming off, and that's why it's always recommended, especially when the tires are really in this condition. So this is really, really dirty. If you only have a little bit of dirt on it, now look at this. I'm running my finger along it. Look. Then you can also do it with a slightly gentler tool, for example with a scrub head, or try it with a cloth. But there are different ways to do this. So the dirt is truly coming off. And you can absolutely see how effectively it's amazing. We have cleaned this side very thoroughly, as you can clearly observe. I'll go a little bit further over with the tape. I'll go over here very carefully so we still have to work on the flat surface. We need to let it sit for a moment. On the other side, we will just rinse it gently with clean water. There we would have simply rinsed the tires with water during the wheel cleaning. So we can simulate that a bit. So now we have properly soldered the whole track. So, very, very intense. I'll go over this with my glove and we can take a look. So this is what we don't want under tire care because it just doesn't make sense. Now we'll take the tape off and rinse everything down completely. Then we will have one side that is really clean and just one side that has been rinsed. We'll let this dry a bit more. And here you can see that these streaks are slowly coming back. I hope that becomes somewhat visible. But if you let it dry even longer, it will become very, very clearly visible. That should definitely. There is already a significant difference in appearance. I'm letting the moisture dry a bit more here, and you can already see how all these streaks are coming back. I hope this will also be visible on camera. The sun is completely coming out for me right now. So here we have a really nice clean surface, and I'm going to get a bit closer because I think you can see it now. So here, you see it? This is the transition. We have a nice even surface that is still drying a bit, and here we still have this complete haze on it. And logically, it doesn't really make sense to apply tire care to a dirty tire, but I want to test it together with you to see if we notice a difference. And I made a mistake today. I didn't bring an applicator. That means we'll apply it today with a cloth corner. It works just as well. An applicator is of course a bit better in terms of handling, but I will show you now that it works just as well with the cloth in an emergency. So just put a little bit on the tip of the cloth. Not too much. Just a small dab here, very small. and then we'll just go over it. Ah, this wonderful cookie scent. I always dab it a little bit first, so that it nicely gets into these crevices with the lettering. A little bit on it like this. Now we can simply spread it with the cloth, relaxed and without much pressure. So I've also applied it with the cloth several times, and that's no problem at all. The advantage of using a cloth is that it gets into these crevices a bit more. If you use a very, let's say, hard applicator, we only apply it here up to the point of rotation, so right down here to the edge. Here with the cloth, you really have the advantage that it presses the product into all the crevices. That's very, very cool. So, done. And now you can already see residual dirt on the dirty side. And now we will go over to this side up here again. I'll show you, so that you can see that it's really very, very little that I'm taking here. Like this, I also dab it on. A little bit more. So with this, you can get really far, and you can treat it beautifully. This cookie scent is absolutely amazing. You can really treat it nicely. What immediately stands out to me is that the difference in appearance is not noticeable at first. Both look very fresh. So that's very good. And we've processed it up to about here. The transition is important. So now let's take a look at how it affects when we remove this here. And then, yes, you can see it very, very clearly. Now I'm moving the camera a bit back and forth because, you know, filming tire care at the self-service box is not the easiest. So, filmed directly from above. And I hope the camera doesn't let me down. You can already see the dirty area nicely, but between sealed, on, cleaned tires and uncleaned tires. You can already see it nicely here. The difference is not so extreme yet. It will only show in the coming days. Or we will check back here later to see if the dirt spots come back after a short time. So this is the look right at the self-service box. Nice and juicy, not too shiny. That's what I like about ADBL. And the lighting conditions are always the most difficult when filming tire care. You can easily see the streaks here, very, very lightly. A bit more blotchy on the tire. But if we look at it here, it is then noticeably more even. So here you can already see these stripes slightly coming through. You can definitely recognize a certain difference already. Yes, and now we will put the whole thing to a long-term test. And maybe it will turn out that we don't even need to pre-clean the tire. We will now consider two things. First, how does the appearance develop over time? Will these stripes perhaps come through again? Does the area maybe turn a bit yellow-brown again? And maybe we only have a nice look for 2 or 3 days? I will definitely share all of this with you in the update. And how does it look in general from a prehistoric perspective? How long will it last overall? Does it come off faster? Does the look change very, very rapidly? Or does it perhaps stay completely the same and both come off evenly? But that would be very, very strange. That's why we'll just try it out. So the test of cleaned versus just rinsed. Let's take a look. Until part 2, you can write your guesses in the comments. And whether you also use a tire cleaner before these tire care products. Because I have to say, I also resisted that a bit in the past. But now I have to say, you can already see the difference just from the tire look and from the prehistoric aspect and everything. We will also test that out. Until next time, all the best. Bye.